Good evening, everybody. Good evening. And let's begin. मेहंदी है रचने वाली, हाथों में गहरी लाली। हाँ सखियाँ अब कलियाँ हाथों में खिलने वाली है। मेरे मन को जीवन को नई खुशियाँ मिलने वाली है। ओ हरियाली बन्नू ले जाने तुझको गुइया, आने वाले हैं सैया, थामेंगे आके भैया। गूंजेगी शहनाई अंगनाई अंगनाई बन्नू। The wedding had just taken place. The young bride, with rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, was gazing into her husband's eyes dreamily. They were lost in each other's brown, black eyes. They created a world of their own. It was a love marriage, you see. And they were stroking each other's cheeks, whispering sweet nothings. And this bliss lasted for 7 days. It was time for the young bride to visit her mother-in-law. This was the first time she was meeting her. As she entered the threshold, the temperature dipped by a couple of degrees. You could feel the iciness in the air. Maybe the mother-in-law didn't like the look of her daughter-in-law. There wasn't any chemistry because it wasn't an arranged marriage. It was a love marriage. And it's usually the custom in Bengal, where this story comes from, that the young bride doesn't do any household work till the mehndi in her hands fade away. But not here. She was set to work right away. Chopping, cutting, ironing, scrubbing, washing, dusting. She didn't mind. She wanted to please her mother-in-law. One day, while she was washing her husband's shirt, her mother-in-law stood there and she said, "Acha, did your mother not teach you anything? In this house, we wash the cuffs first, not the collar." "Oh, Mummy ji, I'll do exactly as you say." And she set about washing the cuffs. The next day, she was in the kitchen cooking up a meal and she was stirring the curry when her mother-in-law stood inimically behind her and then, in the same posture, said, "Acha, looks like your mother hasn't taught you anything, my dear. In this house, we stir the curry anti-clockwise." "Oh, Mummy ji, I'll do exactly as you say. I'm here to learn," she said. "But when you have somebody looking over your shoulder, stalking you, taunting you, you tend to become clumsy, silly, you make mistakes." And that's exactly what happened to the young bride. She cried herself to sleep every night and looked at her husband's supine form, sleeping the sleep of the innocent. She could have shared her angst with him, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to cause any grief between the mother and son. Already there was a distance between the mother and son. So she cried herself to sleep. One day, as she was sweeping the yard, her mother-in-law stood there with her customary hands on the hips, the proverbial monster-in-law, and she said, "Acha, did I not tell you, you should hold that broom to match the angle of the branch of that peepal tree?" "Mummy ji, I did it, but there is a wind blowing. Can you not see the branches are shifting?" "Don't sass me, girl. No more lip from you. No lip at all." The young bride couldn't take it anymore. She had reached a point of no return. So she rushed into the woods and she stopped. She wrapped her thin cotton sari around her body that was shivering and shaking. And she took a deep breath and picked up her pace and went deeper into the woods. She could smell the oils, The smell of the oils wafted through the evening dusk. She turned round where the old banyan tree with the vertical roots hung, and crossed the stream on the fallen log, and on the other side was the wise old woman with her oils, the smell of bergamot, frankincense, eucalyptus, clary sage. And she said, my mother-in-law has to go. I can't take it anymore. And the wise old woman smiled. She was smart as well. And she said, don't worry, my child. She blended a few oils and put it in a bottle and gave it to the young bride and said, apply, massage this oil on your mother-in-law's bones. And when the oil in the bottle disappears, so will all your troubles. The young bride thanked the old woman, thrust a 10-rupee note into her hand, and hastily rushed back home. As soon as she entered the house, she asked her mother-in-law, Mummy ji, would you like a massage? And before you could say Mishti Doi, her mother-in-law had her blouse unfastened and she lay flat on the bed and she said, there, right there, at my back. So the young bride took some oil in her hand. I'm sure you all remember when you felt the hands of a masseur or a masseuse. Not here. She took the oil and slapped it on the back of her mother-in-law's back and began to knead the flesh, angrily pummeling it, twisting it, pressing it. Not a whimper, no complaint. And the next day, after she finished her chores, she asked her mother-in-law, Mummy ji, would you like a massage? Do I? Of course. And she took off her blouse and lay flat on the bed and she said, this time right there at my shoulder blades. She took the oil and slapped it on the shoulder blades and began to knead that flesh, pummeling it, twisting it, rubbing it. All the frustration, her tension flew from her shoulders to her elbow, elbow to her wrist, wrist to her hands. Still, not a whimper, not a word of complaint. So this happened every day. Suddenly, something changed. A strange thing happened. The atmosphere warmed up by a couple of degrees. Her hands softened. The movement of her fingers became lighter. Her shoulders relaxed. Her elbows relaxed. Her wrists relaxed. And the arch of her hands matched the arch of her mother-in-law's back. The contours of her fingers matched the contours of her mother-in-law's shoulder. And the massage became a wonderful exercise. And they both began to talk. And the mother-in-law said, you know, girl, I have a terrible backache. That's why I'm in a, always in a bad mood. But I do love my son, you see. Oh, Mummy ji, I do love your son. I miss my mother, my brother, my sister. And they both began to talk. They began to share their dreams and their ambitions. And one day, the bride looked up and she saw there was just 2 drops left in the oil, in the bottle. She quickly excused herself and ran to the woods and she stopped. She wrapped her thin cotton sari around her trembling, slim form. Again picked up speed and quickened her steps and ran past the banyan tree with the vertical roots, crossed the stream on the fallen log and reached the other side and reached the wise woman and she said, please, please take away the poison in the bottle. Please reverse it. Please, I don't want my mother-in-law to die. The wise old woman smiled and said, child, I can't take back. Whatever is done is done. I can't reverse the magic. And then she smiled and she said, there is no poison in the bottle, my child. The only ingredient in the bottle was time. Time for you to talk. Time for you to get to know each other. That's what I meant when the oil in the bottle depletes or reduces, so will all your problems. The young bride beamed happily, thrust another 10-rupee note clutched it in her hands and skipped home with her sari flying behind her. Her long, brown, lustrous hair was flowing in the wind with a spring in her steps. She reached her home to her waiting mother.